everyone! We're continuing our walkthrough now of SpongeBob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom 15-minute version. This is part 40 of our SpongeBob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom 15-minute version walkthrough. In the last part, we finished up Rock Bottom completely, like I told you in the last video. Because remember, like I said in the last video, when we get the spatula named Across the Trench of Advanced Darkness, that's the end of Rock Bottom completely. Because remember, that gate afterwards leads you back to downtown Rock Bottom. It's not a new place. So proving wise to you, that can prove that there's only three places to go in Rock Bottom. Oh, and I forgot to tell you this in the beginning of the walkthrough. When you go to gates, you'll realize that there will be 4 parts of the entire place. So, but in this case, Rock Bottom only had 3, because remember that gate after the Trench of Advanced Darkness was leading back to downtown Rock Bottom. And we also began Sand Mountain in the last video too. So yeah, in this video, we plan to pay for all the doors and the clam. So we're first going to pay for the clam. And then after that, we're going to pay for all the doors. And I'm going to tell you why right now we're going to pay for all the doors instead of going to a slide. Now, and all of you YouTubers who are watching my walkthrough will have to listen to this, because this is a good tip for you to do when you're playing this. Now you notice for every shiny object slide place that it costs 1,500 shiny objects to get the tickets for them, right? So I suggest, because the spatulas save the game, pay for all the doors first, because they're each 1,500 shiny objects, because then if you do it first, then you won't have to worry about paying for it later. And that's what we'll do in this video as well. And also, don't get the spatulas till you beat the person's time if you haven't beat it yet. Because it doesn't seem right to get the spatula defeat robots on blah blah blah, because that's what 3/8 of the spatulas will be named. But if you do beat the person's time on the slides, that will do, because this is a slide place, well, it'll make more sense, because then you beat the time. So that could prove to you that you could get 2 spatulas instead of 1. But it's better to open the teleport box, but don't get the spatula that you get from defeating the robots. Just open the teleport box, because, like I said, you should do you should beat the time before you get the defeat robots on blah 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 spatula, because then it could prove to you that it'll already be done and you just have the spatula to collect. Does that make sense? Because if so, you should do that, and that's what we'll do in our walkthrough for these videos of Sand Mountain. So now, requirement-wise, our spatula, the requirement-wise for the next place, it's 40. So spatula-wise, we'll get all the spatulas here. So yeah, we'll continue right now. And you realize the time that I'm starting to play the game is the biggest time that we've started playing wise in the video. Do you realize that? It's 4 1/4 minutes of discussing. Did you realize that, time-wise on the camera? So now, you could tell, when you hit this Sandman, see? But under this, you know how we built a snowman in the snow? Under the sea, they're actually called sandmen. So when you touch the Sandman in particular, you get a sock. And you could tell sock-wise now where 13 25ths, or no, 13 20ths done with the game sock-wise. I was thinking of spatulas for a minute. But spatula-wise, just so you know, like I said in the last video, we're 3/10 done with the game. Reduced fraction-wise, both for spatulas, and you could tell the 13 20ths for being done with the game sock-wise. So now I'll bowl this chunk. We got each other, that's funny. Did you realize that? Okay, so first, I'm gonna... Now see, do you realize you hear the duplicatron sound? That's funny, you can still hear it when you don't realize that it's here, don't you think? So now also, when you come down here, there's a sock right here. You could tell sock-wise there was one right there, and now you could tell there was a bonbon. And now you can tell when we collected that sock, we're now 1/5 of the way done for socks. Well, we're 1/5 of the way done sock-wise for Sand Mountain. So now we'll go up to this. Well, first of all, you can only be SpongeBob and Sandy in this. So we'll change to Actually, not yet. We'll first come up here to touch this button. Let's see if I can bubble bowl it. Dang it. I was gonna see if us bubble bowling it, because we're able to, is able to reach it enough to get the button able to be pushed. Because you remember with the ground buttons, you could tell it was working. I'm trying to see, because this is a type of ground in our case, and because it could also reach to over here, if the bubble bowl could work to push this button. But it doesn't seem like it is. So first, we'll get this blue shiny object. And now we'll touch the button. And now you could see a value of 5 swing hooks come down. And we'll open a spatula with Sandy in just a second. So first, we're gonna, even though it will go back down to 4 figures, I think eventually in the walkthrough we'll get back up to 5 figures. Because, oh, and I forgot to tell you, also in this video, you notice how each of these tickets we had to pay for, these slides, is 1,500 shiny objects, and the clam, which we're heading towards, which is 2,500 shiny objects. Proving wise to you, if you want to pay for everything shiny object wise, which you'll see we'll be doing, you have to have exactly 7,000 shiny objects total, because that's the number adding wise for everything shiny object wise you have to have in order to pay for everything here. Because you remember, each of the doors is 1,500 shiny objects, and there are 3 doors, so I could prove to you that there's a problem right there. 1,500 times 3, which is equal to 4,500. And also, the clam we have to pay, the clam that's in this place, which is 2,500 shiny objects, so add that onto that amount, and you get 7,000. So it can prove to you that if you want to complete everything paying-wise, you have to have exactly 7,000 shiny objects in order to pay for everything. Whew, that was hard to say in a few breaths, really fast. So now we'll talk with Plankton.
Hello, my most favorite friend in the whole world. I found another golden spatula for you.
Oh boy! Can I have it?
And now this spatula that's opening is named Frosty Bungee. Because it looks like they're in the snow. Because you see, it looks like they're in the snow. Maybe that's why they named it Frosty Bungee. Even though that when it comes to the men we need to destroy, like you saw when we got that sock down below in the beginning of or in the last video, we you realize it's actually snow according to this named spatula.
Sure, if you fall down to the bottom of this pit.
Isn't there a safer way?
It's always safety with you people. I suppose you could bungee down.
So see, you could tell that this will be a bungee challenge. And now, see, the amount we need to pay is 2,500 shiny objects. So I'll say yes, but so I'll say yes. See? You could tell it went back down to 4 figures because we didn't have enough shiny object-wise to have all 5 figures again. And now, you could tell that spatula we opened is Frosty Bungee. So now we'll go back down to where you see the bus stop is and change into Sandy, because when we talk with Gary, you'll realize we'll open another challenge. Like, I'll show you what I mean. See, I just changed into Sandy, and now I'm talking to Gary. Did you see where it was, spatula-wise?
You don't say. Well, there must be a way up there.
And now you could tell, when we talked with Gary as Sandy, the spatula that opened is called Top of the Lodge. And it's kind of funny, because do you realize how many socks we have? And the number of spatulas open? You realize that they're the same. Can you visualize that? So now, we're going to go to... We're going to change back into SpongeBob. And now go to the door number 1. And see, we're exactly at the double 96 for shiny objects. Do you see that? So now we'll come to this door number 1 and pay for it. And in this case, the place name is Guppy Mound. And I'll tell you, character-wise, what character will be in there, and also because of the slide, their time you have to beat to get their time you have to beat on that slide. So now you can tell we're coming over here to Flounder Hill, and you could tell I just bubble bowled a Chuck. So now I'll pay for Flounder Hill. See, because this is door number 2. Do you see the number 2 right above it? And you saw the number 1 right above that when we paid for Guppy Mound, right? Okay, so now we're going to come over here to this door number 3 and get this Bombot and that Thunder Tiki. And you could tell, right now you could read the same number back and forth for shiny objects. Do you see that? So now we'll pay for this place named Sand Mountain. No, I don't get it. With door number 3 and with the character that I'll tell you slide we're about to open, why did they decide to get the place name also to this character's slide? Tell me that as a comment on this video. So now we'll go into door number 3, because time-wise for the slides, we're going to do it biggest to smallest. And door number 3, time-wise, is the biggest of them all. So we'll stop here.
I'm good for speed with this aerodynamic physique, but I'll give you a golden spatula if you can beat my time.
Now, what does that statement mean? Tell me as a comment on this video, the first part. So yeah, that'll end it for part 40, and I'll see you guys in part 41.